All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to talk about iterators. So an iterator is an object that contains a countable number of values. An iterator is an object that can be iterated upon, meaning that you can traverse through all values. Technically in Python, an iterator is an object which implements the iterator protocol, which consists of the methods of iter and next. Iterator versus interbole. Lists, tuples, dictionaries, and sets are iterbole objects. They are iterable containers which can get iterator from. All these objects have iter method, which is used to get an iterator. Even strings are iterable objects and can return an iterator. The for loop actually creates an iterator object and executes the next method for each loop. So now let's head over to our notebook and create an iterator notebook, and then also jump into the code for some examples. All right, so let's create a notebook here. So we're going to do new Python 3 notebook, and we're going to do 16 for the number, iterators. So iterators, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to return an iterator from a tuple and print each value. Okay, so the very first example here is we're going to do my tuple, okay, equals apple, banana, in quotes, banana, and cherry. Okay, and then we'll do my it equals iter, my tuple, okay, and then we'll print. So we'll print next, my it, print next, my it. And what this is going to do is every time we're printing this, it's basically going to pull each tuple or list item. I call them arrays, but whatever verbiage you want to use is fine. This is a list, okay? So if I only print one of these, it's only going to print apple, okay? If I add to that, it's going to print apple and banana. And then if I add one more, and I'm going to return just so it's formatted nicely, then we have cherry, okay? So that's how you would use the iter method to get an iterator, okay? Even strings are iterable objects and can return an iterator. So strings are also iterable objects containing a sequence of characters. So what we can do is on another block here, we can do my string equals banana, okay? And then I can do my it equals iter and then my string, okay? Without the I. And then we'll just do print next, same thing, my it. We'll just do 1, and what it's going to do is it's going to print the entire, all the letters, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's do, I got 1 there, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Banana. There you go. And that's a string for you. So you can do that if you need to just pull a value out of your string. This is one way to do that, okay? Then we can also loop through an iterator. So we can also use the for loop to iterate through an iterable object, okay? That's a real tongue twister there. So for this example, what we would do is my tuple, okay, equals apple, banana. Oh, I don't know why it's doing that. Let me delete this real quick. Okay. Then we'll do banana and then cherry. Okay. And then we'll do for x in my tuple, and then we'll print x. Okay, and I'll run that, and we get apple, banana, and cherry. Okay. Because what we're saying is x is equal to my tuple, okay? And my tuple is equal to what? Apple, banana, and cherry, okay? So they're all working together, okay? All right, so now let's create an iterator. So to create an object class as an iterator, you have to implement the methods iter, which we've used, and next to your object. As you have learned in the Python classes objects chapter or section of the course here, all classes have a function called init, which allows you to do some initializing when the object is being created. The iter method acts similar. You can do operations, initializing, etc., but most always return the iterator object itself. The next method also allows you to do operations and must return the next item in the sequence. Stop iteration, to prevent the iteration to go on forever, we can use stop iteration statement. In the next method, we can add terminating condition to raise an error if the iteration is done in a specified number of times. So why would you do that? You would do that so that it would stop where you want it to, okay? Okay, so we're going to create an iterator that returns numbers starting with 1, and each sequence will increase by 1, returning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. Okay, so let's do that. So what I want you to do first is we're going to open up a new block of code here, and then we're going to do class my numbers. Okay, and then we'll do def enter, and then we'll do self, and then colon, okay, and we're going to do self.a equals 1, and we're going to return self. Okay. We'll return a couple times. We'll do def next self, and then we'll do colon x equals self.a, and then self.a plus or equal to 1, return x. Okay. And then we'll do my class equals my numbers. Okay, and we'll just put it like this. And then I'm going to do my iter equals iter my class. Okay, and then we'll print. So we'll do print next my iter, and let's do it one time just to see what happens. Okay, so it just showed one number. Now if I do it a bunch of times here, but always return so it's clean, so it's easy to read. Okay, I'm going to cancel. So now it went up to 9. Okay, now that's a better example, but you can see what it did here is we said that it's plus or equal to 1, and when we called that, it just kept adding the numbers to it. Okay, so that's how you would create an iterator that returns numbers. Okay, to stop iteration, okay, the example above will continue forever if you had enough next statements, or if you used a for loop. To prevent the iteration to go on forever, we can use the stop iteration statement. Okay, so the thing about for loops is if you run one, it'll just keep running, okay? And that will crash your computer eventually, okay? That's a fun thing that you can do to, you know, crash your computer once, and then once you do that, you understand, okay, wow, this is going to go on forever. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in a stop iteration, and we're only going to print once. Okay, so we're going to leave this the way it is, and then we'll add another block of code here so we can do it there. Okay, so let's run this, and then we can type in the new values and whatnot down here. And what I want to do is let's copy all this. Okay, yeah, let's copy all that. We're going to bring that down here, and then I want to comment all this out. Okay, so let's just go line by line and comment it out so that it's not running twice and messing with our examples. I'll be doing that Python, right? There we go. So that way we have it saved, but we can tweak what we need to, okay? Okay, so let's make our edits here. So we're going to keep all this the same, okay? but we're not going to, and we're either going to return self, and then we're going to add an if statement here, okay? An if-else statement. So what I want to do is I want to delete all this, and we're going to do if self dot a is less than or equal to 20, okay? And what I want to do is tab this in just so it looks nice. So if it's less than or equal to 20, then we want it to stop. So how do we do that? We're going to do self.a plus equal to 1. We're going to return x. Okay, and then else raise stop iteration. So what that should do is it should, in theory, it will. I'm just having fun now. It will stop at 20. So we're going to do for x in my iter and then print x. Okay, now let's run this. Okay, so we have invalid syntax on ret run. Okay, return x. There we go. Now let's run it. Okay, so another typo here on my part. Slef itself. There we go. Let's try that again. Cherry, 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 cherry. That's not really what I was looking for, but that's really funny. Okay, you know why it's running cherry? Because we set it as x, okay? So we'll set this as z and return z, and just make sure everywhere where there's a letter, we have it as z instead of x. And then z, okay? Return z, let's run it now. Okay, let's see if it's going to cooperate with me. Z is not defined. Okay. So if I do, Z should be defined because we have Z equals and I found the bug. Here we go. Z equals, they're right, it's not defined. Okay. So line 8 is invalid syntax, it's saying. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My apologies, I'm used to numbers over here, so I can just click on line 8 and edit. Z equals self A, okay. Well, that's correct. But then we're going to do self.a plus or equal to 1. That's why this is not working. Uninspected indent, okay. So if I hold shift or command, I can tab them together. And that should fix our indent issue. There you go. So I finally got it working. Now we can have this run to 200, or let's just bump it up to 50 and see how that goes. Okay, there you go. And then we can bump it down to 5. Whatever you need to do. It gives you a lot of flexibility. And that's the really cool thing about programming in general is regardless of what language you're using, you have a lot of flexibility with the code. And Python has a lot of flexibility, even more so than others. Okay? So that is Iterators. All right? So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.